Teachers, have you ever seen a dumb student become wildly successful? I've been a teacher for over 20 years, and I've seen all kinds of students, brilliant overachievers, quiet hard workers, lazy geniuses, and kids who just didn't seem to care at all. But the biggest shock of my career came when one of the dumbest kids I ever taught became a self-made millionaire. I never thought I'd say this, but I was so wrong about him. Meet Jason, the kid who wouldn't go far. Jason was one of those students that teachers didn't know what to do with. He wasn't a bad kid, but he was completely disinterested in school. He never did homework. He failed nearly every test. He would doodle in his notebook instead of taking notes. He barely passed his classes. I once asked him, "Jason, do you even care about graduating?" His response? "Not really. School's boring." His other teachers gave up on him. They just assumed he'd either drop out or scrape by with the lowest grades possible. And honestly, I thought the same. At one point, his guidance counselor even told him, "Jason, if you don't take your education seriously, you're going to be flipping burgers for the rest of your life." Fast forward 10 years, a shocking discovery. After Jason barely graduated, I never expected to hear about him again. That is, until one day, I saw his name in the news. At first, I thought, oh no. Did he get arrested? But nope. Jason was being featured in an article titled, "From High School Slacker to Millionaire Entrepreneur." I had to read it twice to believe it. The kid who couldn't pass a basic math test was now worth millions. How did he do it? Jason had done something incredible. After high school, he didn't go to college. Instead, he started flipping random items online. He'd buy cheap electronics, fix them up, and sell them for a profit. Then he moved on to limited edition sneakers, buying and reselling them. Eventually, he learned how to start an online store and began selling custom t-shirts. And then, he had a crazy idea. He designed a joke product, a ridiculous oversized hoodie with built-in gloves and a pocket for snacks. He made a funny video about it, posted it on social media, and overnight, it went viral. Millions of views. Thousands of orders. Within a few months, he had made more money than most people make in years. And instead of blowing it, he invested everything into growing his business. Now, Jason owns a huge e-commerce company that sells weird, fun, and creative products, and he's worth over $10 million. Running into him again. A few months after I read the article, I was at a coffee shop, grading papers, when someone tapped me on the shoulder. It was Jason. I almost didn't recognize him. He was wearing a designer suit, an expensive watch, and looked way more confident than the kid I remembered. He grinned and said, "Hey, Mr. T. Long time no see." I was completely shocked. We sat down, and he told me everything about how he had built his business. At one point, I laughed and said, "Jason, I gotta be honest, I did not see this coming." He smirked and said, "Yeah, no one did. My guidance counselor said I'd be flipping burgers. Guess she was kinda right, I do flip stuff. Just not burgers." I asked him if he ever regretted not taking school more seriously. His answer? Not really. School wasn't for me, and that's okay. I just had to find my own way. The lesson I learned. Jason's story completely changed the way I see struggling students. For years, I believed that good grades equals success and bad grades equals failure. But Jason? He wasn't dumb. He just hated school and found a different path. Not every kid is meant for college or traditional education. Some kids are meant to break the rules, take risks, and build something completely new. And Jason? He did exactly that, and proved everyone wrong. If you had asked me 10 years ago who would become a millionaire, Jason would have been the last person I picked. But life is weird like that. So to all the teachers out there, if you've got a student who struggles in school, doesn't fit the mold, and seems like a lost cause, don't write them off. Because one day, they might surprise you. Update: the dumb kid who became a millionaire. Hey everyone! My original post about Jason, the student everyone underestimated who became a millionaire, got a lot of attention. Well, guess what? I recently got another update on him, and it's even crazier than before. If you haven't read the first story, here's a quick recap. Jason was considered one of the dumbest students in school, barely passed, never did homework, and didn't care about grades. He skipped college and started flipping random products online until he found success selling a joke hoodie that went viral. That turned into a multi-million-dollar e-commerce company. Now, onto the update. Jason's new level of success. The last time I saw Jason, he was already doing well, but apparently, he wasn't even close to done. A few weeks ago, one of my former students, who works in finance, sent me a link to an article. Title: From High School Slacker to CEO, How This Man Built a $100 Million Brand. I couldn't believe it. It turns out Jason's business exploded even more than I thought. He expanded from selling funny products to creating an entire lifestyle brand. His company now has celebrity endorsements and even sponsors major events. He was featured on a business podcast, where he talked about how he scaled his company. Investors poured millions into his brand, and now he's got a whole team running the business. The same kid who used to fail every test in my class is now richer than our entire school district. Running into Jason again, this time, as a VIP. This part is what really blew my mind. I was at a school fundraiser event a couple of months ago. It was fancy, lots of alumni, local business owners, and donors attended. Guess who was there? Jason. Except this time, he wasn't just a guest. He was one of the VIP donors. Yes. The kid who almost failed high school was now funding school programs. And the best part? When they introduced him on stage, they listed his achievements, and he walked up in a tailored suit, looking like a complete boss. I don't think there was a single teacher there who wasn't in shock. After the event, we talked again, and I asked him, how does it feel being back here as one of the biggest donors? He just laughed and said, funny, right? You know what's even funnier? My old guidance counselor is here tonight. The same one who told me I'd be flipping burgers. She had to shake my hand. I almost choked on my drink laughing. The ultimate power move. Then, Jason told me something even wilder. Not only was he donating money to the school, but he was also starting a program for students who struggle in traditional academics. He's funding workshops to teach kids about entrepreneurship, marketing, and online business. He's paying for internships at his company for students who want to learn business skills. He's hiring former students as part of his growing company. Basically, he's doing more to help struggling kids than the school ever did for him. I just sat there thinking, this guy isn't just successful. He's making sure other kids don't get written off like he was. Final thoughts. I honestly never thought Jason would even graduate, let alone become one of the most successful people I've ever met. But now? He's not just a millionaire, he's giving back, creating opportunities, and proving that success doesn't come from grades alone. So, to all the teachers out there, if you have a student who isn't great at school, but has that spark of creativity or business sense, don't count them out. If you're a student who's struggling, just know that school is not the only path to success. Because sometimes, the dumb kid in class ends up being the one signing your paycheck.